Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. Reform UK MP Rupert Lowe reported to police over alleged threats towards party chairman. Now, there's a lot of things happening behind the scenes here. I'm not going to say too much. In a statement, Mr. Lowe said the complaints were untrue and false. He recently appeared to publicly question Nigel Farage's leadership of the party, something which he doubles down on in his response. And Nigel's done this before. But let's continue. Reform UK has suspended MP Rupert Lowe and reported him to the police over alleged threats of physical violence towards the party's chairman. A statement from Chair Zaya Youssef and Chief Whip Lee Anderson MP also says the party has received complaints from two female employees about alleged serious bullying in Mr. Lowe's offices, which is very, very interesting because one thing is among the right, a lot of people really, really like Rupert Lowe. A lot of people seem to think he would be a lot more capable leader than Farage. Does anybody remember what happened in UKIP? Anyway, I'll save it for the end. Mr. Youssef and Mr. Anderson said, we understand complaints have been made to parliamentary authorities. Mr. Lowe, 67, has released a statement saying the allegations were untrue and false. The accusations of physical threats were outrageous and entirely untrue. And he referenced a vexatious complaint made by another staff member. Mr. Lowe, the MP for Great Yarmouth, has had the whip suspended, meaning he will sit as an independent MP in the House of Commons. Mr. Youssef and Mr. Anderson said in their statement that Mr. Lowe had, on at least two occasions, made threats of physical violence against Mr. Youssef. The statement said, "It is with regret that we feel obligated to disclose that the party received complaints from two female employees about serious bullying in the offices of the Member of Parliament for Great Yarmouth, Rupert Lowe. Claims of disturbing pattern of behaviour. It added, evidence was provided to us of workplace bullying, the targeting of female staff who raised concerns, and evidence of derogatory and discriminatory remarks made about women, including reference to a perceived disability. We feel we have a duty of care to all our staff, whether employed directly or indirectly. Accordingly, we appointed an independent King's Counsel to conduct an investigation into the veracity of these complaints. To date, Mr. Lowe has yet to cooperate with this investigation." Now, this is a very, very interesting thing because you would think you would want to keep this like completely within the party line. It's like, well, we don't actually know, just some allegations have been made, so let's actually have a look into this and see if it's true or not. Because reform, especially with the public, you've got everybody coming after you. You've got Hope Not Hate, Stand Up to Racism, Labour, all the lefties, blah, blah, blah. You've got all of those people. So, unfortunately, if you are any kind of right wing group, you are held to a much higher standard than everybody else, right? You need to keep your nose as squeaky clean as it possibly can be. So, as much stuff as you can handle internally as you can, you handle it internally. But instead, even though there's actually been no evidence or anything at all, like apparently even Rupert Lowe says that his own KC said that there was no evidence of this whatsoever, and they haven't even found it, they've not even investigated yet, that's only just started, they still decided to make all these public statements about Rupert Lowe. Which leads me to believe that this was all just to destroy Rupert Lowe. Farage feels threatened by him because Farage doesn't like it when someone comes along and does a better job than him, because then Farage isn't the prettiest girl at the ball anymore. Someone like Gerard Batten. So Farage spits the dummy out. I'll save it for the end. In addition to these allegations of a disturbing pattern of behaviour, Mr. Lowe has at least on at least two occasions made threats of physical violence against our party chairman. Accordingly, this matter is with the police. They've even went to the police about it. Reform stands for the highest standards of conduct in public life, and we will apply these standards without fear nor favour, including within our own party. Rumblings of leadership challenge. There it is. Earlier this week, Mr. Lowe appeared to question Nigel Farage's leadership of Reform UK. And then all of a sudden, all of this stuff came. I mean, what's the chances? What are the chances of that? In an interview with the Daily Mail, Mr. Lowe said, "Nigel is a fiercely independent individual and is extremely good at what we have done so far. He has got messianic qualities. Will those messianic qualities distill into sage leadership? I don't know." He added, "I'm not going to be by Nigel's side at the next election unless we have a proper plan to change the way we govern from top to bottom." During Mr. Farage's online falling out with Elon Musk, in which the Tesla businessman said reform needed a new leader, Mr. Lowe drew praise from Mr. Musk. Is everybody starting to see the pattern with Farage now? And in the interview with the Try that again. And in the interview with the Daily Mail, Mr. Lowe noted that he was barely 6 months into being an MP and in the betting to be the next Prime Minister. Disappointed but not surprised. In his response to the allegations, Mr. Lowe said on Friday the party leadership had a complete inability to accept even the most mild constructive criticism without such a malicious reaction. Right? It's almost very high school behaviour, the same type of behaviour that destroyed UKIP when all of the adults were trying to get shit done. But anyway, he said in a statement posted on X, I am disappointed but not surprised to read Reform's untrue and false allegations. Let me be abundantly clear. This investigation is based on zero credible evidence against me. As has been repeatedly stated by the neutral investigator, none has been provided. I have cooperated and spoken at length with the KC they instructed, at great cost to the party, to investigate a minor staff matter. He claimed the lawyer was dismayed the statement from Reform UK had been published and that the investigation had not even started yet because it was basically to destroy Rupert Lowe. Farage is threatened by him. It happened to him in UKIP and he's worried about it happening again. Mr. Lowe claimed the lawyer told him that no credible evidence has been given. The MP added that he was sent an initial letter of complaint last Friday from the party with no evidence provided. I have never made any derogatory comments about women or those with disabilities. This is a lie. These allegations are not even referring to me. I will be seeking legal advice immediately, he added. And then I don't know. Mr. Lowe continued, it is no surprise that this vexatious statement has been issued the day after my reasonable and constructive questions of Nigel and the reform structure. It was issued on X late on a Friday afternoon with no prior warning. All I stated was that communication needs to improve, delegation needs to improve, structure needs to improve. These are all reasonable requests of a party looking to form the next government. I stand by everything I said. His response added, I do not believe that Reform members will be pleased to know that their membership fees are being spent on instructing expensive lawyers to investigate their own MPs over matters that are entirely baseless and have been dealt with in the correct parliamentary procedure with HR's full involvement and support. The staff member in question only raised a vexatious complaint once disciplinary proceedings had been initiated against them for serious wrongdoing. The other individual mentioned dropped her appeal. Mr. Lowe said he had been trying to change the way reform is run behind the scenes for many months and urged his supporters to stay with the party. He said, this is our party as much as it is Nigel's. UKIP kind of ran away from Nigel a little bit. Nigel didn't like that. Nigel wasn't the prettiest girl at the ball anymore, and Gerard Batten was doing a really, really good job. Gerard Batten and then Richard Brain, who came after him, should have just been left to do what they could do. Right? They were very, very... Gerard Batten was a great leader. He was a really, really good leader. He could have done better than Farage. And Farage didn't like that. But anyway, a Metropolitan Police spokesperson said, on Thursday, 6th of March, we received an allegation of verbal threats made by a 67-year-old man on Friday, 13th December. Officers are carrying out an assessment of the allegations to determine what further action may be required. Now, I am not going to go into the full nitty-gritty of what happened in UKIP, right? But, see, for me, I basically want free speech in Britain, right? I want us to have actual, proper freedom of speech. Now, I don't care if I'm the guy that delivers it, right? See if some new kid in the block comes up, some fresh-faced 18-year-old, and he's a lot funnier than me, he's a lot prettier than me, his dick's bigger than mine, good luck. No, I'm kidding on, mine's tiny. Right, just basically, if he comes up and everybody starts flocking behind him and he is right on track of securing free speech in Britain, I'm going to tell every single one of you, go behind that guy, right? I don't care if my name is on the fucking Flagstaff. I just want free speech in Britain. I just want the positive best outcome for everybody, right? I don't want the recognition. I want free speech, right? Recognition, can't really do much with recognition if you don't have fucking human rights, right? So basically, I don't care who does it. It could be me, it could be someone else. I don't care who does it as long as it's done, right? That's all I care about. Farage doesn't think like that. Farage doesn't think like that. He wants to be the prettiest girl at the ball. And if he's not, he spits the dummy out. Right? I'm not going to go into the full nitty-gritty of everything that happened in UKIP. Everyone that was in UKIP at the time knows exactly what happened. Oh, anyway, I have this whole other party called Reform. I managed to create it in 2 weeks, even though it takes 6 months alone to file the paperwork and get it approved. Don't worry about it. Right? Just, yeah. Right? I do think it's a net benefit that Farage is an MP. I do think it's a net benefit that he's out there and he's talking about these things, even though he is extraordinarily optics cucked, right? He's very, very worried about getting Nick Griffined, right? That's what he's worried about. But it's coming at great cost. It's coming at great cost to the actual right-wing British nationalist movement, that he refuses to talk about certain subjects because he's very concerned with optics, right? And he keeps trying to appease the alligator in the hope that it eats him last, right? And it's a problem. Then Rupert Lowe comes along and goes, oh, I don't give a fuck, I'm going to remigration, hell yeah, let's talk about it on TV, right? And basically that is resonating with a lot of people. He is not afraid to say the things that Farage is far too afraid to say, which is making people start to flock to Rupert Lowe, and Nigel Farage doesn't like that. And as soon as Rupert Lowe made his little comments on Question Time about the party leadership, Farage just absolutely shit his fucking pants, and boom, there you go. They release a statement about an investigation that's not even started yet. It's a fucking joke. It is an absolute fucking joke. Basically, he's doing it again. Farage is fucking doing it again.